Now to the park fire, of course, raging out of control right now in Butte and Tehama counties. It is day 3 in the firefight northeast of Chico. Those flames running northeast and west. The Butte County Fire Chief says this fire is outpacing their resources. Dry fuels, hot weather, low humidity, and ferocious winds are making this very tough for crews to get the upper hand.
And that fire has exploded to more than 178,000 acres. For context, that is 4 times the size of the city of San Francisco. It's the largest wildfire in the state this year. At least 134 structures are gone. More than 4,000 are threatened, and containment dropped from 3% now to 0. And so far, there are no reports of any deaths or injuries.
We have live team coverage on the park fire. Chief Meteorologist Nick Marianos tracking those fire weather conditions. CBS 13 photojournalist Dave Grashoff talking to a homeowner deciding to stay put. Your reporter Esteban Reynoso, he's live at McClellan Park covering the air support we're seeing. But we start right now with Kayla Moeller. She is in Butte County on the efforts, Kayla, to get this fire under control.
Yes, hello. We are on Cohasset Road again. And if you look beyond my shoulder, you'll see that giant plume of smoke. It just continues to grow. It is quite frightening to see. About every half hour, it looks a little bit different. I'll get out of the way so you can get a better look at it. But basically, the fire is moving in all directions at this point. We tried to go all the way to the very top of Cohasset Road, this road that we're on, because there's a lookout, a ridge area. But we were stopped by fire crews who said you should not go up there because trees are falling left and right. And then if one fell, we could get trapped up there and not be able to drive back down the hill. And we were in this same area yesterday, and now it's completely unrecognizable. We didn't even know that there were cars or structures off the sides of the road in some parts because they were hidden by trees and lush forest, but now it's all bare and exposed. Take a look at this footage. As of this morning, the latest reports from CAL FIRE are that at least 134 structures have been destroyed and 4,200 are at risk. And more than 1,600 people are out here battling flames. Yesterday, CAL FIRE was reporting 3% containment, but that number has since fallen to 0% containment. Butte County has activated a fire hotline. Residents can call 211 for the latest information, and new evacuation orders have been issued for zones 263 and 264 in Forest Ranch, and also 281 and 283 in Magalia. Chico residents we spoke with are starting to compare the park fire to the campfire.
Eerily similar to the campfire that we all went through several years ago. And so, no, I think especially for fire victims already in the community, I think it's really traumatic and triggering.
To put things into perspective, the campfire in 2018 burned over 17 days and burned a total of 153,000 acres. But here now, the park fire, this is day 3, and it's already burned more than 178,000 acres. And again, the winds are not helping. It's been very intermittent today. There are downed power lines all up and down here, some of them still on fire. In fact, they are struggling with putting out spot fires, and we had seen a woman trying to flag down help from a fire engine to get some more water to put out those spot fires, and we have footage of that, and we'll show you that coming up on CBS 13 at 5 o'clock.
Kayla, thanks. Let's show you today's fire activity. The perimeter is in Burgundy right here, and you can see within the past 24 hours, the fire has really burned away from Chico. Crews are trying to use Highway 32 as a fire line, although the flames have jumped it in a few spots, including an area known as Lomo. To the north and west, it's burning in a remote area in Tehama County, but staying in the hills east of Red Bluff. The fire moved through Cohasset. We lost structures there and moved toward Forest Ranch, and we're keeping our eye on this particular spot on Highway 32. The fire jumped it yesterday, and this afternoon we do have active fire near that neighborhood. Many people asking how close it is to Paradise. Going 3D, there is this canyon between the fire and Paradise, and it would have to jump this canyon and another one to reach this neighborhood. That's about a 4-mile distance. And the fire's distance to Magalia, that is about 6 miles. If it does move in that direction, it'll run into the campfire burn scar from 2018. Now, that red flag warning remains in effect in Butte County.
Chief Meteorologist Nick Mariano is tracking those weather conditions, and we were listening to firefighters say this is just so dynamic right now with those winds making it tough.
Yeah, you know, the winds are certainly not a help in terms of, the fire growth, fire spread. But as Curtis was talking about there, a lot of folks writing in concerned about Paradise and areas that had a previous fire just a few years ago. And you can see Paradise here. And this is just a different angle because what we're seeing on a weather perspective today is a south wind, right? So it's pushing is in favor right now to keep flames away from the Paradise direction, at least when you factor in the wind speed, not to mention some of those natural barriers, as Curtis was talking about with the valleys there coming in. But nonetheless, a south wind taking place. And what we're also seeing in the several thousand feet up in the air is a southwest wind. Yesterday was more out of the west. It's a southwest wind, so there's a lot less change with the wind speed as you get up in elevation. However, we're still seeing that movement with the fire growth along the eastern fringe and also along the north, because on the eastern fringe you have that terrain, the upslope terrain for the most part, pushing that fire. And look at all that smoke going up and over north of Plumas County toward Lassen into northern parts of Nevada. But that's the big takeaway when it comes to the wind speed right now. And plus, that's why that red flag warning is in place. What I'm also noticing here with First Alert radar, because again, you can track the smoke plume with this, and you're not really seeing smoke, right? What the radar is seeing is ash and seeing debris that gets lofted up from that rising air. Hot air rises quickly. So over the last half hour or so, we did see a pretty large flare up, pretty close to 32. And again, the location is not exact, but at 3:53, the pyrocumulus cloud, the top of that smoke plume, did rise to about 32,000 feet here. And that's what we've been noticing as a result of that. But nonetheless, of course, you get those flare ups and they start to come back down here. So we're going to be continuing to monitor that in just a bit. Curtis, Hunter.
All right, thanks so much. Well, Sacramento County Sheriff's deputies, they are sending help to Butte County, sharing these photos with us. Look at that orange cloud there as they are in the fire zone giving that mutual aid. As Kayla mentioned, 1,600 fire personnel are currently working to put the park fire out. And we're also getting a closer view of the homes and the vehicles destroyed by this fire.
CBS 13 photojournalist Dave Grassoff is at the Humboldt Woodland gated community where he talked with a homeowner who stayed behind.
Right now at this hour, hearing a lot of aerial surveillance planes flying above, a lot of devastation, thousands and thousands of acres along with personal property, cars and homes. This is what it looked like driving up Highway 32 this morning. In just a matter of seconds, that tree up in flames. In the Humboldt Woodland gated community, resident Jerry Hamingo described what he saw yesterday as the fire raced up the canyon behind his house.
One black inferno. It was just smoke everywhere, and they were just laying up through the canyon. It was moving fast.
His neighborhood is littered in pink due to yesterday's aerial attack. It saved many of the homes in his neighborhood.
Their timing was very good on that. The fire had pretty much gone through, but we had the homes burning here, and there's still a lot of fire coming back up the hill below us. And that's when they sprayed the homes, and it stopped a lot of spot fires and a lot of roof fires and that.
Right now, winds are calm. Hopefully it stays that way so firefighters can start to get a handle on this out-of-control wildfire. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Dave, thank you. And we're just learning that this is another point where we're seeing this fire burn really out of control, expanding as we're learning 4,000 to 5,000 acres per mile. This is, of course, in a devastating rate of speed that those fire crews are on now trying to put it out. But let's talk about the person that's accused of starting this fire. He's due back in court on Monday. This is 42-year-old Ronnie Stout. The Butte County DA says witnesses saw Stout push a burning car into a gully near Alligator Hole in Upper Bidwell Park. They said Stout then calmly walked away from that burning car, trying to blend in with others as those flames started to burn out of control. Stout is being held without bail. We want to shift our coverage now to the fight from the sky.
Yeah, and as we just learned, CAL FIRE is now saying that 4,000 to 5,000 acres an hour. That's how fast this is moving, and it's outpacing even the aircraft. Your reporter Esteban Reynoso is live from McClellan Air Park.
Hey there, Curtis and Hunter. Well, right now here at McClellan Airport, it's a pretty calm scene at the moment as the fire rages on in Butte County. However, that's because a lot of the tankers and the VLATs, which stands for Very Large Air Tanker, they're out fighting the fire right now. There are two of them that go in and out of this airbase here, CAL FIRE's airbase. One of them is fighting the park fire. It continues to make loops every hour. The other one is fueling up here, grabbing as much fire retardant as possible and heading out to a fire that's along the Nevada border. Now, McClellan Air Tanker Base is the headquarters for air attack within CAL FIRE's arsenal. The tankers that can hold up to 10,000 gallons of fire retardant fly in, they get refueled, they're reloaded with that fire retardant that's so vital to the firefight. And it's also mixed here, a pink powder that is mixed with water that is brought through piping and fed into the belly of the planes. Now, there are only 4 to 5 VLATs operating at any time across the nation, 2 of them here at McClellan. CAL FIRE says these tankers swing the firefight in their favor when they're able to make these drops around the clock.
The support that we get from these VLATs and LATs is astronomically huge for firefighting purposes. It's almost like a liquid slime that gets put on the ground, and the fire goes up to that product and it slows it down for ground crews to get to it and put it out.
Now, the tanks that are here at the airbase, they hold up to 25,000 gallons of fire retardant each. Crews here are working around the clock to make that retardant available and load it into any tanker that comes in. Now, just on the other side of the airport is the helicopter base, where we met some of the newest pilots that are going to go out and fight the park fire next week. Hopefully, crews make as much progress as possible, but they say if they are needed to go fight that fire in these Firehawk helicopters, they're ready.
I was driving in from Chico yesterday back to Sacramento. We watched line after line after line of those fire tankers and crews just heading that way. So we know so much help is being put on this right now. All right, thanks for that live update, Esteban. And we are going to continue to follow the latest developments in the park fire throughout the evening. You can head to CBS13.com, get the very latest by watching our stream, CBS News Sacramento.